Welcome back to Issues of Faith. Happy to have with us Minister Joey Spann. He is the minister at Burnette Chapel Church of Christ. September 24th, a gunman went inside and shot Joey Spann, injured 6 people, killed 1 person. Joey Spann is also a teacher at Nashville Christian School. Again, happy you're here. And as we went to break, I wanted to get into how the church has responded. In a way, you've all been traumatized. That next Sunday, how did you respond, and where are you now?
Okay. I got out of the hospital on that Thursday, and the group of people at our church went ahead and met Wednesday night. Other churches offered us facilities, and I found this out when I came home. But so our members said, no, this is our church. And so they came. So when I got out of the hospital, I still couldn't preach for a few months, but I thought it was important that I be there on that next Sunday and to give an example for other people what this means to us. We had someone who, for whatever reason, tried to take it away from us. The early church, I have told people that we don't go to church at Burnette Chapel anymore. We gather together again. And the early church was like that, but it was a lot of times because they were under fire. And to go and do this under danger, you have to really want to do it. And right now our people, when we come together, there's that strong desire. But there is the fear and the adjusting to it. When I talked to them that Sunday, we had a great crowd, and we've had people come from other states who came to be with us in worship to give us support. Michigan, Georgia, Mississippi, we've received thousands of cards, thousands from every state in the union. And one little girl sent us one just a couple of weeks ago, a handmade one, and she apologized while getting everybody in her church to sign it. She got sick, and so she didn't mail it till the other day, and she asked us to take a picture with it, and we did and sent it back to her.
So that's got to restore your faith in the world.
Yes.
Is there anybody who said, I can't do it, I can't come back in those doors?
No adults. We picked up some kids on the bus, the van, and their parents said no, and I understand that. I wished it wasn't so, but I understand that. Mm-hmm. And so, but that's all. We've had former members come back, place membership. We've grown in numbers, but we've grown also with younger couples coming back and taking part with us and helping us in all kinds of ways. And so it's been a very positive experience for our church, considering the negative that it came from. Except for Melanie's death, and even then, with the belief of heaven, she's okay. But it's the rest of the stuff has brought about so many positive things, and we're grateful for that. One brother even asked me, said, if you could take it all away other than the death, would you do it? And I said, I don't know. There's been so many good things. Our people are adjusting. Some have been through counseling, and I went through a bout with that post-traumatic stress. Didn't even realize I broke into a sweat. Didn't know I was at a dinner at church, and we weren't doing anything but eating. And all of a sudden I'm just sweating, and went to the doctor about it after I did it one more time at the house, and he told me he thought it was the PTSDs, and so I'm dealing with that, but that's not bad. He gave me some pills or something, and I just take them. But other members, once we sat around, we started talking about it, because my view of the story ended right there at the vestibule.
Right.
And then I heard the story of how they were running, how 70 and 80-year-olds were under the pews, and they said they didn't know how they got under there. But the stories that were told, and it hit me when we were going through this together. The assistant DA came out and we talked as a group. I thought the trauma was me getting shot. Everyone, whether they were shot at, where they hid, where they ran, where they were in the other room, everyone went through the trauma.
Have you forgiven? Has the church forgiven him? And how?
We are in the process of forgiving him, I guess is a good way. I was asked that the very first week, and I have, and our church has struggled, but we have forgiven him. I mentioned I don't want him to go to hell. I really don't. But the forgiving nature comes. I told this to a group of young people I was talking to about that. I should be more mature in Christ. I've got a lot more years than they do, and I've been growing hopefully in His image and the image of Christ. You know, Christ was surrounded by hate, and they were yelling for Him to be crucified, and He still loved them, and He still forgave them. And if I am growing in His image, and if I want to be forgiven myself, I have to be willing to forgive. And I have someone very close to me in my family who called me, and he said he's struggling. He's a preacher also, but he said, I'm struggling with the forgiving, Joey. I can't do it. Because he said, I want to put 2 shots in him like he did you. But because of that, he's now in counseling, and he's a good guy. He's a preacher and a teacher and a coach, but I think the forgiving, when Lord gave us that command to forgive our enemies, it's for us. I can't really help Emmanuel by me forgiving him. I hope he does, but that's really for me. And my nephew is struggling with that, and it's hurting him, and it's damaging him.
You had church a couple of Sundays ago during the Waffle House, right after the Waffle House shooting.
Yes.
That happened just down the road from you.
Yes.
It's what, a mile from the church?
Yes, sir.
What was going on that morning, and how difficult was that?
I was driving to church that morning. I didn't have the news on, and I got a phone call from one of the reporters and asked me, did I have any feelings on the shooting? And I said, well, what shooting? And he told me what had gone on. The Waffle House is new in our community, and he told me what had gone on. And I told him, I said, I don't know. I'm not at church yet, but I'm sure it's going to have an effect. And I got out a God's Got It pen. I just put it in my pocket that morning for no reason. I just put it in there. And I pinned it I had my wife pin it to my lapel, because one of the messages I wanted to be sure that we all got was God's still in control. And I've heard all my life, God's on the throne. You know, Satan may be running wild in the world, but God's still on the throne. And during that worship hour, the man was still out roaming through the neighborhood. And so we were tense. I'll be honest with you. I looked at one of the doors that I knew was unlocked, and before I got to preach, I went over and locked it. So even that. But the great thing that's going on there, I drive by Waffle House, it is full all the time now. And I think Waffle House, I was told, I asked somebody, why is that? And they said Waffle House has made a deal of putting all the money toward the families.
Right.
And the community is just flooding the place. And yeah, I saw a sign, Antioch Strong, you know.
And so in the final minute, you said God's in charge.
Yes.
Are good things happening, or is the world not a lot of good things happening? You know, what do you think? What do you take away from all this?
Well, good things happening. It just takes so many good things to weigh up to the one bad thing that takes place. And good's going to continue to happen. God still blesses His people, and He's still delivering us. Satan told God that if he would let him handle Job, that Job would curse him to his face. And God said, no, he won't. And he tried again, and he couldn't break. Satan, the evil of this world, thinks we'll break if it's put on us. And God is waging that we won't.
Joey Spann, thank you so much for being here. I could talk to you a lot longer.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of people who are fascinated by your story and appreciate the fact that you're still doing what you do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for watching Issues of Faith. Have a great day, everybody.